because this is financially incorrect, I'll start by saying I've held a lot of money, more than
Yeah.
very many people.
Yeah.
And I've had little to show with that. Until today, I've never done anything that I've hated, ever.
Okay.
Career-wise. And I've also never applied for a job.
Yeah.
For me, success is obedience to God. And that is not a normal financial advice that I can give you.
The YouTubers who say and say that they're making 1 million, 2 million shillings a month purely on YouTube views.
Kenya or abroad?
Kenyans.
They're lying. And all your back ends. I've seen. Go and meet him and he says, okay, now I'm going to work with you. And puts a couple of millions of shillings into my account and has never called me again.
To this date?
Yes.
He has never called you again.
Landry, imagine if you're watching this, just get in the comments. Guys think I'm lying when I say this story.
Welcome to Financially Incorrect. And if you're anything like me, who has watched enough movies about trading or seen enough content around trading and does not fully understand or fully understood how to go about trading, then FXPesa is a solution for you. They offer free classes physically at different locations in Thika, Eldoret, Nakuru, Kampala, at any of their locations about learning how to trade. Additionally, they have an opportunity for you to be able to open what we call demo accounts, which allow you to practice what you've learned and trade without actually having any repercussions of potentially losing your money. Once you're done with your demo accounts, you can then open a live account where you'd now be able to put in money and actually trade. All of these links and all this information is in the description box. And as usual, this podcast is proudly sponsored by FXPesa, allowing us to have these conversations and allowing us, me and everyone else who's listening and watching and learning, to understand and learn from other people's financial journeys. You can trade commodities, you can trade Forex, you can trade gold, you can trade all sorts of things on the FXPesa platform. So be sure to check it out. Links in the description box. Anyway, so moving on in today's conversation, really looking forward to having this conversation. I guess a preamble to it is the first time I stumbled across his content. I was studying. I wasn't in Kenya at the time, and I was looking to come back and work in the entertainment industry. And I watched his interview with Tim Rimboy, and they broke down. I mean, if you watch Tim Rimboy's CTA, well, now you know who it is. You'll see how they broke down certain songs. They broke down how the industry shifted, how they were able to make money, and things like that. And that confirmed for me that, yes, I definitely want to come back. I definitely want to work in the music and entertainment industry. In fact, after that interview, I was like, when I come back, I have to look for this guy, Tim Rimboy. And I did actually look for him and found him and learned what I could from him. But yes, welcome today. Our guest rather, on the podcast today is none other than Richard from CTA. Welcome.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. Looking forward to this.
Pleasure to be here. That's how you found out about CTA?
That's how I found out about CTA.
I said Tim CTA was the Quincy Jones version. You know, Quincy Jones did this thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
Where he told the real version of the industry.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Tim CTA was the second CTA that I did.
Yeah.
Tim, as a producer, produced for me some music when I was a musician. Tim also gave me some good checks. Because this is financially incorrect, I'll start by saying there's a gig that Tim did with Warner Brothers, a video game. So Tim Rimboy gave me some good checks. I was a voiceover for one of the characters in the video game.
How much did you get paid for that?
We
do figures here. Yeah.
At the time, this was maybe 2008, 40,000
USD.
Nah, shillings.
Oh.
But my script was what? 10
Yeah.
10 words.
Yeah.
So
that's
though I had a song
Yeah.
on the Warner Brothers video game.
Yeah.
And I got paid 100,000 shillings for that.
Yeah.
But they kept renewing it every year. In fact, I wonder if it's been renewed. For
Go on,
2-3
make sure
years,
yeah.
I'll just get that 100,000
Yeah.
Kenya shillings.
Okay.
That's good back in the day, 2008, 2007,
Yeah,
2009.
Yeah, that's before everything truly went to the dogs as has been now, right?
It's not the dogs. May I say evolution is part of the process.
Yeah.
Evolving is a must. You don't evolve, you die. You evolve, you position yourself to make more money in the new disposition.
Okay. So before we I guess we started shooting, you mentioned that because the podcast is called Financially Incorrect, you are the almost the SI unit.
For real.
Why would you say
choice,
that?
Man.
Why would you say
I
that?
just think I've held a lot of money, more than very many people.
Yeah.
And I've had little to show with that because my foundation, maybe I wasn't prepared for the blessings that came. So I didn't maximize it. But as life goes on, those mistakes that I've made have been lessons.
Yeah.
And, you start when you start. So I'm starting late in my years.
Yeah.
But definitely a lot is going to still come my way.
When you say you've held a lot of money,
like,
and I know this was it may be a very difficult thing to crystallize and answer, but I guess you can give it a shot. How much money do you think has come your way in your lifetime, in your career? Yeah, money that you've worked for, not well you are.
Not my
your
parents.
Folks, yeah.
Damn. So
like if you had to guess,
maybe money that's come my way, like entered my bank account.
Yeah.
Or a bank account of a company that I own.
Like all together.
Maybe.
As I said, it's a hard question.
Yeah, it's 60 plus M.
Yeah. Okay.
That's come my way. I can't, you know what I mean?
I've
been a conduit of a lot of money. In fact, I've realized a lot of money has come in. I had a client, for example, who Kenya Revenue Authority was my client. They paid us for 1 gig 30M. But from that 30M, how much was mine? Mine. You get what I mean? And that's just for one job, minus the fact that as a company, for Up Digital, we had over 50 different retainer clients. But how much of that money came our way because of the financial literacy that we had at the time?
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
I've been a YouTube enabler. Money came then. I worked for Google. Money's come then. I've worked for different places. I've gotten a lot of grants. So the question being, how much of that money that has come have I used well? How much of it has been seed? How much of it has been the fruit that I dished?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I guess let's get into it, because you talked about the foundation that you had, or the foundation that you could have had a better foundation, essentially, to be able to set you up to make better decisions financially. So what was your foundation? What was your money foundation?
So I say that I came from a very well-off family. Maybe the 0.1% in this country. So
do you have a pool in your house? Give us context. Do you have DSTV?
My DSTV was standard. I had internet in my room in 1998.
Okay.
My room. My grandfather owned hotels in this country. But remember, that's their money.
Yeah.
Very clear.
Yeah.
My mom came back to Kenya as an expatriate for BAT, British American Tobacco. Lived in the UK. So the context of went to the international schools that were in this country. But even when going there, first of all, that doesn't mean I was spoiled. I was not spoiled, in fact. But then what happens is I didn't lack, and I didn't understand the context and the value of money.
Okay.
Because we have it. You get?
So what's the definition of spoiled then? Vis-a-vis not understanding
so my
the
parents
value
just
of money.
Give me chums. But I had the best in life. I went to the best schools. We traveled this country. We traveled the world. It doesn't mean that my pockets literally had cash.
Okay.
But they provided everything that I needed. You get what I mean? But now, for example, when I go to Breban, my pocket money is what? 2,000-3,000 on the high side, 5,000 back in then. But I'm around guys who've got 100,000, 40,000, 70,000. So in that context, I'm broke.
Right.
You get?
Right.
My friends have cars, my friends have motorbikes, but that doesn't mean I have one. So now what that means, it makes you begin to want to aspire to your peers.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you are who you are surrounded by.
Yeah.
So that context doesn't make me understand the value of money. So you're giving me 5,000 shillings, which maybe per se I haven't worked for.
Okay.
You get?
So you think because you didn't do anything to earn the money that you were given, albeit pocket money, that distorted your understanding of money?
Yeah, value.
Your understanding of value of money.
When I got broke, I understood the value of a shilling.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you haven't worked for this, and your parents are telling you, you are blessed. They're not spoiling you. So I don't want to make it sound like my parents just threw cash at me. No. But I want to say I was irresponsible. It's not their fault. I was born with a silver spoon because of the work that they did. But I didn't understand the context of what I was born with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would be your definition of the word spoiled? What's a spoiled kid?
spoiled kid is getting money just for the sake of getting money. You get?
No guardrails or limitations at all.
At all, at any time that you want money, you're given.
Yeah.
I would go and ask my parents for chums and be like, no.
Okay.
And the word no, I had a lot.
Yeah.
But if I needed to go somewhere, there's a driver. The driver will take you.
Okay.
Here's for the cab. You get, how much is it going to cost you? At ball, when they spoiled me, it was time to spoil me.
Yeah.
It's your prom.
Okay.
So let's spoil you at this time.
Well, prom in and of itself.
Yes. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
They sent me to university and told me, we will pay for your university. Do not work. Read. You get?
Okay.
But me, I'm coming with the mentality of, I need to ball out.
Okay.
So let's just say my foundation, they did their best. I was irresponsible, immature, and illiterate when it came to financial matters. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
So you'd ask me to be real.
I'm asking you to be real. Okay, so I have two questions now I want to ask off of that. The first one is, what age did you start driving? And I'm asking this in context of, I know when I was a teenager growing up, there was a certain level of wealth where kids would start driving at 15, 16, and they're getting
fake deals.
The PDLs, not even the fake ones, just the PDLs, because technically you get the PDL at 16. But I remember I used to see kids and I'm like, yeah, these guys are...
Yeah.
So you are...
I started at 15.
Yeah.
Illegally.
Yeah.
Which meant one of my pals taught me how to drive.
Okay.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
But then my pals had cars, so me, I'd not be per se the one. I learned how to ride a motorbike very early. But my pal had a 400 Kawasaki back then. So I learned how to ride that. Had an accident, and last time I ever rode a motorbike. But in context, again, because I'm not spoiled, my parents were very... did the right thing. So from the day I turned 18, got my DL, and there was a car available.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you go to study in SA, you're told, don't work, we'll ensure that you're fine, all your expenses are paid for. Yeah. So when you come back, when do you begin to...
No, life-changing thing happened in SA.
Okay.
SA is probably the first time I learned the value of money.
Okay.
Because in 2001, I went to University of Port Elizabeth. Everybody else in my class either went to the UK or to the States. So I opened up a website because I'm failing in accounting. So to get credits, I start this website. And this website is literally social media back in the day. It's called Kenyan Madness, where I would put up pictures of different people partying and put a caption. But what happens, that website becomes the second largest Kenyan diaspora website in the world. And a company called Net Shopping tells me, we'll put for you banners. And those banners will pay you for them. That time they paid me $1,000 back then. They're giving me something called a digital camera. But the switch happened that, oh my God, you can make money. But because, again, I am illiterate on finances, that $1,000 probably lasts a weekend.
So...
You get what I mean?
I get what you mean.
The switch is, so digital can make money.
Can make money,
and that changed my life, because still today, that was what I call them. I got my mental digital shift.
Okay.
I understood the value of working and doing something that you love.
Yeah.
And it making you cash.
Okay. I'm a bit surprised by your surprise there. And I have a question about your folks and how they made their money. At that time, up until that point in time, did you ever have any conscious thought about how your parents make their money? Or was it just that there's money in our family?
No, so they grinded. So first of all, my mom worked her ass off, rose to the highest ranks within British American Tobacco, BAT, abroad, to the point where she was sent back to Kenya as an expatriate. My dad worked his ass off as well. Even though, so when we lived in the UK, he did orchids. He part of the Matiba family, he was the one who headed the orchids, which was exportation of flowers. When in Kenya, he used to do a lot of delivery of tomatoes to Uchumi. So there's a farm that he used to go to. So he grinded. You get what I mean?
So you had a direct correlation to work equals money.
Yes, but for me, I was like, I can't do what I don't love.
Okay.
That just those two don't connect.
Okay.
And what I've come to realize later on in life, I was a creative, and probably the first creative, not probably, the first creative within my whole extended family. You get? So even when I come back in 2001, through my dad's connections, he's putting me to work in a bank. And the bank is, by that time, Barclays in Moy Avenue. I'm a first year, I've just come back and I hate it. So for me, I'm like, you're telling me I'm going to make, even though there's money here, I hate this. I hate waking up every morning to go and do this. It doesn't make sense that I'm going to live the rest of my life doing this. Nope, doesn't make sense for me. For me, there has to be a correlation between passion and finances. And granted, that's a silver spoon in my mouth that I was born with that allows me to think like that.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens to the website? So when you're coming back and you're working at this bank or you're connected to work at this bank, what happens to the website?
The website continues, but then what happens when I come and I work? So at that time, I also have a passion for music. Extremely good, not as a rapper. That was never even anywhere in my mind, but I wanted to be a music manager. So what I was doing is I was first of all, I wanted to be a producer, but that wasn't really working. I had the skills, but globally compared, I didn't think I was good enough. Technical engineer, I could do that, but the passion wasn't as good as wanting. Then I wanted to help the musicians who are going to be musicians. So I wanted to do music management. But what are you saying you're doing music management to your parents in 2001? What drugs are you smoking?
Yeah.
So that's what I began seeing. And also when I went to South Africa, the context of exposure, I saw Mendoza, I saw Zola, I saw Brenda Fassie, TKZ. I saw all these artists, Squatter Camp, rappers even. All these artists who wake up, rap, and make a lot of money. So for me, you couldn't convince me that money and music don't go together. And also I'd seen the Chris Cross, Aaliyah, R. Kelly, Mariah Carey, all these guys. That's the context of my world of So I wasn't dreaming locked to this geographical border called Kenya or Africa. I had seen this. So for me, I was like, I want to be the music manager. I want to learn then what it takes to do the back end system of music.
So what connection does that have to the website? Do you then shift the website?
So my website, in 2001, as much as I'm putting pictures of people turning up, I have been producing music in my house. Again, Josiah had given us, through family affiliation, because my mom's working for BAT and what was happening in the music industry via Josiah and AudioVolt at the time, there was that connection. Even my mom taking Josiah, AudioVolt, and all these guys to Nigeria through British American Tobacco, Benson and Hedges in particular. So I had all this music before people had this music. And what I do at the time is I digitize this music. So it's the first time ever in the world, in our history, that you can find Kenyan music. And it's on a website called Kenyan Madness. So not only did I have pictures, I had Kenyan music, MP3s, you get. But also I had bought a couple of CDs, 50 Ogopa 1s, Ogopa 2s. Ogopa 1 at the time, Nameless's album, and I had bought Necessary Noise. And I'd gone with them to South Africa. And by the time I had arrived Cape Town, they had gone, sold out. So I'd seen also money. But I hadn't entered the principles of reinvesting, of taking this as a career. You get? It's like what I'm wearing right now. I've also got the gift of being ahead digitally. So these are Ray-Bans. These are Meta Ray-Bans. I've got the Oculus. I've already sold them out as soon as I arrived. So digitally, I've been ahead. Anyway, long story short is digital music. I was putting this music on the website, but I wasn't looking at it as a business. From a money-making perspective, I wanted to become a music manager.
And at this time, you're still making the $1,000 on the banners.
The $1,000 are paying me. Well, not monthly. They paid me 1 quarter, then they paid me another quarter.
Okay, so that was still coming in and out.
I don't need money. Remember, my parents are giving me enough.
And then how much are you being paid at Barclays, at the bank that you're working at that time?
So I came just for the holiday. I came from November 17th, 2001. I'll never forget it. In January, I worked my ass off every single day, apart from Christmas and Boxing Day and New Year's. Oh my God, all the way to January 5th. This is our version of summer. I hated it. They gave me 80K? But I fell down and broke my teeth. So I used that 80K too.
You fell down and broke your teeth?
For a long time I didn't have these teeth.
What? I just explain that. Like, what happened? What did you fell down and broke your teeth? Are you partying and you fell? And
so now I've not partied from all this time, and because I've been working at this place called a bank. And I'm a 20-something-year-old who only knows how to party. So after that period of not partying, January 5th comes, and I'm so happy to be out of the bank, and I go and party, and I black out at Mobile Mart, and I fall face flat.
And how many teeth?
Like 3.
So the 80 Gs that you're paid, You go.
Let's just say I didn't even see
You
that
didn't-
it is. Including my dad's top up and everything.
Yeah.
But that was a turning point because
Yeah.
I said I'll never in my life ever do something I hate again.
Okay.
So 2001 changed my life completely.
Okay.
And from then, I have never applied for a job, ever.
Okay.
And I have never worked in a place that I hate.
Okay.
I mean, I love life.
Okay. That's a privilege, right? So what happens? So what happens next in your money journey? So now so you go back to SA. Uh-huh.
And my aim is to go and work for a management company.
Okay.
So every day I'd pick up, buy CDs, research on the management.
And at this
company.
time you're still in university, or
University.
Okay.
But really not.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the goal is I'm never going back to this university path that I'm on
Is
is going to
leading
lead
to-
me to bank.
Forget it.
So me, the path that I want is to lead me to do music management.
So you were in South Africa for the environment.
Because that's what we do. You finish school, go to A levels, and go to uni.
Okay.
You get.
Okay.
Again, you see the lack of understanding of the privilege that I was born in, that many people don't even have that privilege.
Yeah.
In fact, for me, local university was never even an option. Forget even local, Africa was never an option.
Yeah.
It was, we're going abroad. We're
Yeah.
going to either US or UK.
Yeah.
And please note, I'm in the context of where everybody that has happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm in Bremen.
That's the
everybody
world that
who
you
has-
live in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not understanding the other side of the highway.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding...
With all due respect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what privilege that I am in.
Yeah.
And by the way, it is who I am, and I'm proud of my place.
Yeah.
You get of where I've been born. But I just need to paint it in context because there are a lot of people like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, 4 years later, finish. Don't finish. By finish, I mean I'm applying to a management to do management for a company in.
So you get your degree.
No.
Oh.
My aim is to get.
Your aim is to get work into a music management company.
So every day, my
Yeah.
life became do this Kenyan Madness thing, but more importantly, open up CDs, research on the management company, and apply for internship there. And
Okay.
apply for jobs. Got 3 responses, yes. And the day I was supposed to go, when I was supposed to go for the one that I was supposed to go for in the States, I didn't apply right. So they didn't accept my visa.
Okay.
And I come to Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you halt your university studies at that point.
Yeah.
And you tell your folks, I'm done.
I come.
Yeah.
So I would come home every holiday. Are you
Okay.
understanding the irresponsibility within which I was living? Man, but there's so much lessons in this. One,
Yeah.
listen to your kids about what they're passionate about. Don't just send them to do what it is that you're trying to get them to
Yeah.
do. Even if it means doing a gap year.
Yeah.
So, if I was to do this again, I'd do a whole year gap year, and I'd throw myself into different places and spaces outside of my environment.
Yeah.
You get? Because sometimes you're just doing, and please granted, nobody knows better this time.
Yeah.
This is remember, this is 2001.
Yeah.
Some people watching this were probably not even born at the time.
At the time, yeah. So you come back on holiday and you essentially just tell your folks.
I said I'm not going.
Yeah.
Now is when I decide to do my gap year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enter this thing called music.
Okay.
So they're just like this kid. But they agree.
Okay.
So I then, for the first time, enter into a production in a company in a studio in Loresho called SRS.
Okay.
Sound Ricochet Sounds. Edu, big shout out, Elias. And I realized how much I love this.
Do your parents cut you off in any way? Do they tell you, okay, now since you're doing your own path?
Cutting off is coming more.
Oh. It's not at that point. It's not
so they're
yet
like,
there.
let him do his path.
Okay.
Let him do this thing. But after this path, after the 6 months, because I came in June, by the time December hits, this guy should go back now too. No, so I came in that December 2004. By the time January hits, he's going back to uni.
That was the agreement.
That was the agreement. That was their agreement even with me.
Okay.
We all agreed.
Okay, so you do the production.
Yes.
At this time, your folks are still, at this point, you're not cut off. Your folks
my
are still
folks-
giving you money.
Yes,
You have the
but
car,
my folks
access to everything.
Live in the UK
Okay.
at this time.
Okay.
My folks, my sisters, my whole family lived in the UK
At this time. Okay.
Yeah. So I wouldn't even go to the UK. From SA, I'd come to Kenya. You get?
Okay.
So now I come for the November holidays. Who wants to go to UK where it's cold? So I come to Kenya, I just chill with my uncle. I join this SRS. January hits. I'm like, I'm really loving this thing. Let me take. In June, I'll go back and continue. So from January to June, I'm irresponsible, but I'm going and I'm figuring out this music thing is what I want to do.
Okay.
So it's June time to go back, and I say I'm not going back. And they're like, cool, no problem. You don't have to go back.
Yeah.
Also, get out of our house. Be a man.
They say it's fine. You don't have to go back.
But be a man.
Yeah,
You
leave
do
a house.
you. Yeah.
So they say leave. They say leave the car, leave the this, leave the this, leave
it,
this.
Bruh.
You go do what you
In
do.
fact, they moved. My uncle moves from Loresho to Karen.
Yeah.
That's when life changes for me. And in retrospect, that's the best thing that ever happened in my life because I became homeless. So you can imagine from this level of life to homeless.
What did that mean for you? Because I'm trying to figure out, do you feel like you've made enough networks at the place you're working
I'm
at?
immature.
Yeah.
I'm still coming with the thing of partying, clubbing. But I'm in the music, but I love waking up to do this. At that time, I'm producing.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
So I absolutely love it.
So what do you do to survive? How, like the day that you're told your uncle moves or the day that everything,
You wing it. So you're in the studio, but the guys in the studio also have a lot of money. You get? Not from music.
Yeah.
From the version. So there's always food. But then now you can only wing it so much. So now you start running and running and running and running and running and running.
So where
you're
were
with
you
these
staying?
friends.
Yeah.
You're with this friend, you're with that friend, you're with this friend, you're with that friend, until you can't run out of friends.
Yeah.
Till you run out of friends.
So essentially you're doing like sleepovers at different...
Essentially, first of all, I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm always in the studio. And guys love it because you're making the beats that they're rapping to.
So you just don't go... Well, there's no home to go to.
Yeah,
but
it's not. Yeah, but you can only wing that for a while. Bruh.
Okay.
Then I'll forward this story because it's not a CTA, but I'll just... the turning point came maybe a month after. So I go to my grandpa's hotels, which was the time when Mombasa, and that's when I get saved. And when I get saved, I have a conversation with God. I'm alone. No preacher, no pastor to me.
When you get saved, you're alone.
Yes, on the beach, and I have a conversation with God.
What's the trigger?
What's the
trigger? Yeah.
So what happened is I went to my grandfather's hotels. So I partied there for a month.
Let me tell you, first of all, the ability to say I went to my grandfather's hotels, like you're not homeless. Your version of homeless.
Homeless,
your version of homeless is a different version of homeless.
Yeah, but I'm running and I'm masquerading. Let's just say that.
Okay.
When I go there,
right.
I'm not acting like I'm homeless. I'm acting like, I'm just here for 3 days to find myself. You're there for a month. You get what I mean? Then what happened? And then you're not changing. You're not changing your lifestyle. So even when I'm there, what I was doing is drinking. I'm just writing DC.
You're signing off
You're signing off the thing. You get?
Okay.
Then the turning point came when I invited my friends. Shout out to Karani Kimaru. I keep mentioning him in this story because he didn't understand. He's just like, bro, I don't get this. So he comes, we party Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday they leave. And that's a turning point in my life. 2004, June. And I'm just like, enough is enough. I can't wing this thing anymore. So I either die or something changes. And I go to sit on the beach. And I'm like, where the heck is why are there so many stars today? And I hear a voice saying that they asked me for permission on when they should come and when they should return. And I'm like, I'm so high. Like, what on earth is this? What sound is this? I'm like, where's all the water? Same voice.
Yeah.
And then I realized, because my parents were saved, that I'm talking to God. So I look for something, and some crabs come out. I'm like, where are all these crabs in the day? And I see the crabs, and I'm like, God, I'm pissed off with you. Because you put this passion of music in me, and it's not working. These guys want me to go and work in the bank and all of these other things. By the way, I recently met the person who gave me the job to work at Barclays. It's called Frank Kireri. He was in housing finance, but he's the one who, because of him, I worked at Barclays for that period. And I told him, thank you, because you showed me what I hated. But I get saved. And long story short, God tells me to rap. God tells me to do the one thing that I can't do without him. And that's why my first song, I say, Mungu sina sauti ya kuongea. I'm hopeless, I'm the cordless, mini skillless. Mungu akaniambia kama yule Moses. So I start, and I'm like, I'm going to become a rapper. I'm like, cool, let's do this now.
If you were to look at your salvation story, so to speak, how much of it do you think would be, I don't want to say financially motivated, but financially triggered?
None. Because remember, in fact, I say the biggest problem was people were saying, come to Christ if you need. The gospel that I had before this was come to Jesus Christ if you need. I was like, there's all these other holes that I have in my life that are not financial. Clearly. You get? Please note, finance.
Because even at this point, it's not hitting you how much the decisions yes, it's not finances that are bothering you.
It is, I want to do music.
Yeah.
I want to do this passion.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense that, guys are like, if you lack, if you lack. I'm just like, that has never for me been a motivation for salvation. Peace was my highest thing. I told you till today I've never done anything that I've hated ever.
Okay.
Career-wise. And I've also never applied for a job.
Yeah, after the backlist. Okay, so let's talk about now, I guess, the music career and how you make how you make money during your music career, what you do with that money, and how you're surviving, I guess, within that next phase of your life before you start the digital agency stuff.
Okay, fast forward, I get a record deal with Kanji Mbugua, 2005, December 30th, 2006, January. No, the 2005 March, 2005 March, I get a record deal with Kanji Mbugua, Kijiji Records, and I get the opportunity to record music for free.
So there's no advance payment that's made per se, monetary. It's just the ability to make music.
So you see also God's connection connects me with a guy who is just now becomes like a mentor, big brother. Potholes filled up by those who came before me, mentor, big brother, mad props to Kanji. So Kanji literally was God sent. Not only did he give me accommodation, he gave me, as I had access to a studio. And what I didn't know and what he didn't communicate is that the masters are mine. You get? Not only that, this
mine being his or yours?
Mine.
Oh, okay, they were yours.
Yes. Not only that, the backup machinery that I have, I'm going to use it to enable you to succeed. Everything and anything you want that I am able to provide for you, I will give it to you. That's why I owe too much to Kanji. You get? So I'm in that environment.
Okay.
And also an environment that is enabling. So now that's helping me mature. You get? Because if you listen to this story, maybe I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I didn't capture that because of the blinding that was in my life.
Yeah.
So now I entered the industry in 2005. But there's exposure that has taught me to think differently from a music perspective. So I'm going to do gigs for free with K Crew. But me, I'm like, I've got 400, 500 students that I'm seeing every day. I don't have an album. Jogsi, Gospel Fathers, DNG all have albums. I don't. But I was in the UK and I knew this thing called singles. So I'd put my music on CDs and I put this and I print them on emissions, spend the whole night CD writing, and I'm selling them for 100 bob. Kids can't afford 500 bob for CDs, but none of them have a problem paying 100 bob.
Right.
So that, nobody in Kenya was doing that at the time. And I'm doing 4 or 5 schools. No, I'm doing 3 to 4 schools every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many CDs are you selling per? How many students would buy per? Maybe 300
CDs a week.
Okay.
On the low side.
On the low side.
On the low side.
Okay.
Marking up. Now I'm clever enough to know. Once you sell out your CDs, go buy a pack of 100 bob emissions, spend the whole night CD writing, hit Control Alt Delete. You get? But also, as the time progresses, remember I have this digital life.
Yeah.
So people now are beginning. So this platform called MySpace is there. Highfive.com is there. Then a platform called Facebook comes up. And now I begin opening up Facebook for all these musicians who are around. Giuliani, Kanji, Mavuno Church, and all of these other places. And I begin influencer marketing then. So the beginning of this time, the Facebook pages of Daddio and all of these musicians, it's not owned by them, it is me. So what I'm doing is I am actually talking as them, posting as them until now they chanukad and realize. But I'm also getting corporates from them. So I went to Nokia and I told Nokia I can speak as Eric Wainaina, I can speak as Kanji, I can speak. Give me phones. I give them in their performances. They can keep a phone, but on top of that they can give out. These guys are. Nobody knows what influencer marketing is.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But also now I become part-time working at Mavuno. So there's a small salary coming there. Nothing much, 10K.
Okay, 10K.
Yeah.
Okay, and so how are you surviving at this point? Is that during this period you're serving are you still at Kanji's place?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Kanji's for quite not Kanji's place, but the studio.
The studio.
Yeah, the studio had quarters there. So me, the producer were there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your expenses are still relatively low. Like you're meeting your expenses and are you missing the previous life?
Not at this time.
Yeah.
At this time, I'm not missing it because my world has been opened up to a whole new life.
Okay.
And I love life.
Yeah. At this time.
Remember, at the time, all I wanted was joy.
Yeah.
I miss the perks of having a car.
Yeah.
I'm humbled. You get.
Yeah.
I miss family.
Yeah.
But I have new family.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Okay.
And the name is growing. Astar is growing. So now Astar moves on to the point of becoming, and I'll forward a lot, that now I get paid as an artist.
Okay.
So now that you begin paying Astar as an artist, you get, becomes a
perform
gospel
at gigs
name.
and
I
things
get
like
an album. Now
Yeah.
the album is also doing this. Digital marketing is becoming something. And now
Okay.
people are calling me to do digital marketing for them.
Okay. Before we get the digital marketing space, what's the biggest thing financially that happens to you as a musician?
Biggest thing financially. You see, being a musician, the thing about being a musician, I never paid bills. So there's some, like, I traveled Africa and I never paid even my tickets. I never paid my hotel. I got paid to go and do all these things. I am the VIP when you enter the country. When I go to UG, we even have outriders taking us. You get, you're in the 5-star hotels and you're being paid to perform. You don't use your cash. You get. And I moved all the way to become the most nominated Kora artist in Africa. So musically, I was doing well.
Okay.
You get. But I still don't have the understanding. Remember, this time gospel is blowing up.
Yeah.
This is the era where gospel was nothing when I joined. It was then all the way to the point where now gospel takes over. And a big shout out to one guy called DJ Kev. DJ Kev brought money into the gospel industry. The time for DJ Moz, it was hustling. What I mean by that is it's ministry.
Yeah.
You get,
Yeah.
it's ni huduma.
Yeah.
You don't get paid for this.
It's a calling.
But you figure out. So my gift was I was able to figure out how to make money from this situation. A guy called Ringtone also figured that thing out. You get, guys. So now guys started doing high school. I would content distribution. I would take CDs to Nakumat and shops. I was a distribution manager for Kijiji Records.
Okay.
So even in Kijiji moves to where I get a salary. You get? And I begin seeing opportunities. Once there's people here, how do you monetize the people? Because I'm at Mavuno Church, I'm like, Sunday, I've got 2,000 people. How do I put albums here? How do I get albums from other artists, put them here? So how do I become the distribution shop?
What's the thing that happens in the gospel industry as you're saying, that shifts the thinking from ministry to we need to monetize? Like, what are if you were to try and like narrow down on the critical things that happened that allowed for monetization to now be a thing that people could do?
Kev.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says about this.
Yeah.
DJ Kev. So, especially for urban artists.
Yeah.
The music in the River Road, they were making money.
Yeah.
Crazy, because River Road had a distribution network of how to move VCDs, DVDs, CDs. You get MP3s hasn't come in at the time. You get Richie's MP3s.
Yeah.
You get people don't understand SoundCloud. People don't understand YouTube. You get so that system is difficult for me to penetrate. I tried penetrating, but it's mafia.
The River Road.
I printed 1,000 Mavuno Worship DVDs and took it there.
Yeah.
Till today, I've never even seen a shilling. It's mafia, bruh. But DJ Kev comes in, and DJ Kev comes in with the corporate money. So his entry is first Groove Awards, and I become the Groove Award ambassador. You get? So Groove Award means now we are touring. And now I move from just being the musician, I become an MC. So as an MC, every single day that I'm going to a different location, you're giving me 50 Gs. You get? Kev has organized the system where we're doing, through Safaricom corporate sponsorship, where we're doing Meru this weekend, we're doing Mombasa, we're doing Nairobi, we're doing groove tours. You get? Then I even see an opportunity. I'm like, Kev, can I go and penetrate you into Uganda? Can I go penetrate you into Rwanda? Can I go this? So can I become the Groove Award ambassador? You finance me, because I've already made inroads through my music to these countries. Just give me some payment of start, and I'll go and set up the system for you. So by the time you come in, I've already given you connects in this place, and you can have conversations about expanding to these countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that had been lacking, if I'm hearing you right, the biggest thing that was lacking, the biggest gap was that there was no distribution system for...
There was no corporate sponsorship. Gospel was not being played. Gospel artists were not big. The biggest artists at the time were the secular artists. So what happens is the shift.
The Groove Awards make the gospel music.
Groove Awards is part of it because that award show minus the Kisima, that award show was huge. You get? I mean, it became the biggest award show. But bigger than that, artists, radio stations were not playing our music. Gospel was not being playing. You get? Kiss wanasema ngoma yangu ni dope na family, wanacheza ngoma yangu for the family. Kiss wali dismiss nika like it was hard for me to enter the industry. Gospel wasn't cool to be played. You get? I remember my song Close Your Eyes got played on Capitol, and that was huge. You get? Top 7 at 7. The Noninis, the Joakalis, the Prezos, them, they got their era. So I came in, but remember we were doing groundwork as we were in the unis. You get?
Yeah.
If you guys are not going to play us guys will go to the ground. Yeah. So even when I won a Kisima award, they're wondering who on earth is Esther. I'm like, it's A-Star. You get?
Okay.
So what Kev then comes in, he comes in with the corporate sponsorship, more sound. And remember, that now explodes the gospel industry, and gospel becomes bigger than
the secular space.
And corporate money comes in.
Okay.
Not just Safaricom. Name it, they check into the industry.
Okay, so then now you guys start getting paid to do gigs and all of that. Okay.
But I'm very diverse. So for me now, what happens is, beyond just a musician, I also become an MC.
Okay.
So I began now getting paid for TV shows. So Protel, for example, used to pay me 30,000 an episode. And we're shooting. So in 2 days, I'm shooting. Kijiji Records starts getting funding. For example, Ford Foundation paid us during post-election violence and paid us to go and do peace tours across this country.
Right.
You get?
Right.
So now I'm paid for organizing that event. I'm paid for... I move into management. You get? I did 100 high school university tour. Mabadiliko. 100 high schools, 15 universities. Churches up in America finance us guys to do those tours. You get? So the access of money is not just through my CDs, but now I'm...
So you're making money like 5 different ways right now. How much do you think you were making at that time if you had to try and average monthly?
I wasted maybe a week. I became Safaricom. So Safaricom, I remember under Safaricom tours, they were paying me $150 per day. You get? And that's just for me to go to Safaricom. I'm going to this region, so may I go there beforehand with a guy called Gideon Kimanzi. We put up a sort of talent show, record for somebody a song, and that's it. For that alone, for my expertise, that day I was getting paid $150K a day. But I have $30K per episode from Protel, which I haven't gotten all the money, but that's the story for that day.
You have Kijiji money coming in.
I'm a musician being paid, and now my musicianship is going beyond Kenya. So in Kenya, I'm not that big, but I'm doing tours in Uganda, I'm doing tours in Tanzania. I'm breaking beyond these barriers. And then digital also now
starts to become a thing for you. So at this time, what would you be averaging per month? 200, 300, 400?
So again, there's seasons.
Okay.
So the per month came later on in my life.
Okay.
You get? At this time, you're making $500,000 within this month.
Okay.
Then you're dry, but you are financially illiterate. So you're not even thinking of the investment. You're like, Giuliani bought a Benz.
Yeah.
Wow, mi lazima ninunue. Giuliani hook me up with your guy. Giuliani hooks you up with Opio.
Yeah.
And you buy a Beamer for $300K that costs you
it repairs.
Stupid decisions.
Okay. So at this, all your money is coming in, and you're spending all of it.
Yeah. I'm immature.
Yeah. Or like everything, it's coming in and going out.
Yeah.
Okay. A question before we move to the 4-up, or are you getting to a church management level at this point, or does it continue?
In church, I worked as a creative, so I've never been in management in
the church space.
I call it death by meetings.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question. I told you I have a question for you here on the church business, or the business of churches, so to speak. And I had this story from a source. Well, I would call them a source, but a friend.
Say their name.
I could say their name. Yeah. But so they told me how they worked for a church, again, big in the production space, media space, and they begin to work for a church. And, again, they get saved, so they're doing it for service, right? And so through that, they're taken through training, through the process. And so they're taken to the US. to go and learn from, I guess the mega churches,
Yes.
how they do their thing. And so through the trainings and through the learnings, they're taken through the art of, I'll call it the art of giving.
Yes.
And they're taken through critical things to do within the church ecosystem or within a service process to make people give you more.
Yes.
Right? And so they're trained on that. And so he was telling me when he's going through his training, he's like, what's happening? Like, I thought this giving, the offering or whatever the case is, was purely from the goodness of one's of one's heart. I didn't know that we were going to come up with, I didn't know that there's a science to getting people to try and give more, to get people to try and give more in the church. And then they go through the worship process as well. And this now I'm going to reference the different documentaries that have come out on Hillsong and all of those things. And they're essentially being taught, whether it's chord progressions that make people that make people feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
And so in fact, even in one of these Hillsong documentaries, the question was around, is someone then, the feeling that this person is getting in church, are they getting that feeling because they're connecting with the Holy Spirit, or are they getting that feeling because the pianist is playing a specific chord progression, which will make them automatically feel this way, and then remove the wallet and give more? Anyway, so my question all in all boils down to around the business of churches, so to speak, and whether you have any, with your experience in what you are providing to the church, you have any experience or any comment or any thoughts around that process? Yeah.
Don't just cut this snippet. Cut it holistically. I know how you podcasts do. So first and foremost, the way churches survive is through giving.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is tithes and offerings is what churches use to pay salaries, to pay electricity, to operate. Majority of churches don't have any other way with which they exist. Now, that's a huge problem. I think church needs to evolve to passive income. Church needs to also mature and understand there's things that you have. The other day I was looking at Parklands Baptist and I'm like, the value of this land is billions of shillings worth. It is primarily located right next to where we are. In fact, it's billions of shillings. How then could they leverage on that space to create passive income? And Pastor Julian in his CTA talked about approaching churches from that perspective. So, but then, because churches need you to give, they have to then orchestrate a point of giving. So in a lot of churches, it's not manipulative. It is just, hey guys, it is time to give. You get? It's just making people aware at this time, let's stop the service for this moment of time, because people may forget, people may not be aware, you get? So, hey guys, it's time to give. The Bible says giving is this, that, the other, whatever. The offering baskets go around, the M-Pesa is put up, the bank account details are put up. That ends. It's from a pure perspective of, guys, we need this. Sometimes it's a bit difficult because now we are relocating, we're building a new church, we're doing this project. We need a bit more. So then they begin to orchestrate the service to bring awareness about what it is that they are doing. I still don't think there's anything wrong with that. Pushing people to give. But now I'll be honest with you, there are some people who then take it to the next level. If you want God to do something, just sow that seed. And listen to what he's done and all of these other things. Where it becomes, the concept of sowing seed is not wrong, but there's now a point where it's manipulated.
The prosperity gospel.
You get what I mean? Exactly. Now it enters another level where it's not even church that is happening. This is all a con game to fleece people. There's no other word but that. So there's levels to this thing. There's from the pure people who just have intent of, we're just trying to keep the lights on. There are churches, very rare, some even churches, they don't even ask. They don't even ask for tithe. They just like, by the way, God runs this space. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If not, we're going to shut down and move on. All right, fair enough. We will... But so we can't... The biggest thing to say is we can't bulk all of them or batch them all together into one one thing. Church is diverse as human beings are as diverse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And churches are run by human beings, and not human beings are...
Yes. We shall have another episode to discuss the potential morality or lines around that. But that's cool. Okay. So let's get into now, I guess, the digital phase, right?
Yes.
How do you then end up setting up a 4Up Digital?
So before 4Up Digital, from 2001 or from 1999 when I was introduced to digital through it being put in my room through the internet, modem, digital has always been a part of my life. In fact, I say digital is the foundation of my life. Music and everything else comes and goes, but digital is the one thing that has stayed. You get? So the mental shift is changed in 2001 with net shopping, banner and all that.
Right.
But then every time, even when I was a musician, I always thought digital first. So I was not even thinking of making money per se with my music. I was thinking of distributing. So then when I'm in the industry, as a musician, I am about the pushing of the agenda, which is the gospel. So guys, give me your music and let me upload it onto this space called the internet. 90% of the musicians at that time have no idea what this thing called Facebook or YouTube is. So I start uploading my content onto YouTube and end up having the second largest YouTube channel in the country. This is back in. So when YouTube come to the country to start monetization, they're like, they search and they find my channel and they call me. That time my channel was Astar Njau. And they're like, sorry, we can't employ you because you're just an individual, you don't have a business, but go and learn. And because I'm working at Protel, I'm also learning from Protel. And I'm like, I want to work at Google, but I want this content thing. So I realized, Google, let me start, this content thing is powerful. So I begin creating content. This is way back. Begin creating in 2008, 2009, 2010. I begin creating content using Mavuno Church, shooting content, and now I begin selling content. So I go start approaching different TV stations to sell my content. And when I'm there, one of the TVs who I approach to sell, they hire me. They're like, in fact, can you run and head our digital and radio? Become head of radio and TV, Fountain Media. Because it's financially incorrect, I'll tell you, they'll pay me about 120K. Then
does taking that gig kill other revenue streams for you?
Yes, but then also I was on a newspaper because of sipping, so my Groove Award ambassador thing had gone.
Okay.
And they're like, can't be preaching water and drinking wine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that had gone. But then when I'm working at that space, and also I'm transitioning from musician because I'm like, this digital space is where I want it to be.
Okay.
You get? And this was way before I'd already started doing that. After I went for the Core Awards is when I was just like, okay, this transition happened.
Okay.
Funny enough, when I went for the Core Awards, I thought I was going to win $1 million.
Okay.
That is what changed my life, and that's how CTA was born.
What happened?
My gift brought me before a king. And I was like, I'm in front of a king. Then the next morning, I was with the president. And I was like, my gift is in front of a president. And all I could say was, are you saved? And like I had nothing, and I'm like, what a waste of a human being. Like, how can I be here with a king, and the next day I'm with a president, and all I could ask him is, are you saved?
Who was the king and who was the president?
In Benin.
Okay.
It was in Benin. Was it Benin or Cotonou? One of the two anyway. And I'm like, I need a bigger vision. And when I went and that night I had a dream, and in my dream, my future 6-year-old daughter, I was asking her, what do you want to be? You can be anything. In fact, it was 2001, I remember it, because Obama was becoming president. Did Obama become president in 2001 or 2008?
2008.
Yeah, it was 2008. Now his inauguration. So then, that day is when now, I'm like, my future 6-year-old daughter, she can be anything she wants to be in the world. And my daughter looks at me and she's like, when I grow up, I want to be a hoe. I'm like, what? The heck is this? I want to be a prostitute. I just want to take off my clothes and I can make money. And I woke up and I'm like, I need to clean the airwaves. I need to clean the airwaves. I need to clean the airwaves. And that's how Clean the Airwaves was born.
Okay.
So what I did is my second album, I put it online for free. It was the first album in Kenya that you could completely download for free on that. Because I looked at my CD as my CV.
Okay.
And I said, I don't need to be Michael Jackson. I need to be Ted Turner. Ted Turner was the one who was setting agenda. So Ted Turner owns CNN. And I realized Ted Turner is setting how the whole world looks at Africa. So Michael Jackson is, that time I think he had died or something. And I'm like, he's going to be forgotten. But Ted Turner and CNN, I mean, Larry Madowo works for CNN now. His agenda was like, the station will never go off. So I'm like, this guy is shaping minds. So this is what I want to be. So I moved background and I started mentoring people like Ekodida, finances which had been given for me for my second album is what shot and made people like Ekodida. Ekodida's Nick on a video. Anyway, so when I start working at Fountain Media as head of TV and radio, I'm like, this guys, the content that we are selling is not going to be relevant in terms of bringing advertisers. So I'm like, I need to leave this place and I need to go and work at Google. Like, I don't know how. And I just felt God tell me, sir, go work.
And what are you doing? How are you making better financial decisions at that point? Because now you have salary. So, okay, what are the better financial decisions?
I am saving. I am not irresponsible with my money. Yeah. Until.
So you're saving, you're putting money in a savings account. You're paying your rent.
In fact, even I remember I told another guy, I'm putting this money in this savings account and I'm giving you my ATM. Eugene Banda, who was in financial management.
So that you don't spend cash.
So I don't spend.
Okay.
So I'm just like, what I save is just whatever. Just help me understand this financial world.
Okay.
It's the first time that even I was getting in.
Okay.
You get this 2013.
Okay.
So 2014. In 2014, so I'm like, this station is not doing it for me. Like I'm putting content that I don't believe in. Remember, I've also cleaned the airwaves. So this content is not shaping people's minds the way I want. So I'm like, staff media houses, I'm going to take the content directly to the consumer. And the only place that I need to learn this is in Google. And the day I am communicate that I quit, I get a phone call from Google.
On that day?
That day. And the lady's like, hey, would like to meet you. Like, are you Richard? I'd like to meet you. I'm like, yes. A lady called Amanda. So I go and meet her. Then she calls me, hey, Astar, I'd like to meet you. I'm like, Amanda, I just met you. She's like, oh my God, Astar and Richard is the same person.
Yeah.
You've got the job. Long story short, I got the job.
Okay.
And I was head of G+. Now, then I moved to 250,000 a month.
Okay.
So that is where I'm saying until.
So
Because now I'm a bachelor in uni. I save my wedding money. I'm good.
Okay.
But they changed my life because there they teach me the fundamentals of digital. And in fact, at G+, I keep telling them, unless you're financing content, this thing will never work. This G+ will never penetrate the market. They're like, no, we are going to be paying you. You just do a few events. So I would live stream. At that time, it was Google Hangouts, a few musicians' events, Noel Derito, Kanji Mbogwa, my networks, Blankets and Wine. You get, I'd live stream them, but I'm just like, this product will never pick up. So they tell me, they even told me, we'll pay you for 2 months. Don't work. I'm like, man, what madness is this? I'm like, I need to work. So, but something happens when I'm there. I now realize content creation is the way to go.
Okay.
And I go and join this company called AMP, Absolute Media Pictures. MP was doing videography for like Coke Studio. Tony Maura, best editor, hands down. He's the one who shot Nyashinsky's videos. Before that, he was at Washamba Limited. Sinare, who was in animation, who is in animation till today. Hands down, him and Fiber go to when it comes to animations. But now I was coming and telling them, I want to shoot digital content. Digital content. And guys are just like, what's this digital content, this guy saying? Kanji Mbugo calls me back and he says, okay, dude, Kanji Mbugo had been doing, let's open up a company together. And we open up Storm Creative Agency. And he's like, this idea that you have, like you, as guys will do eventing, you do the digital side. So now I start working there. You get?
Are you still, so at this point in time, you leave Google or you're still?
Yeah, Google G+ was only there for 6 months.
Okay.
Until.
So for those 6 months, with the money that they're paying for those 6 months, you say you save for your wedding. You put a bit more money into your savings.
Yeah. I have money. If I need to move, I have. Okay. But then, remember, one thing I have to tell you is God for me is real. So even though I've saved for my wedding, God tells me, take all your money and give it out. Give it out? Yeah. To all these guys who are getting married. So I'd go to churches like, give this guy 30 G's. I'm like, okay. But where am I getting the 30 G's from your saving, from your wedding savings? Take and give. This guy saved, this guy wants 100 G's, give. This one. So before I know it, all my wedding money is gone.
Because you've given it out.
I've given it out. And then this company that I'm working in, I leave.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
And so for a point of like 2 months, I am in an essence jobless. You get? But I tell God one thing: I had saved my money and I had planned. And this is another turning point in my life. But you made me give out all this money. So I said, I'm not asking a single person for a coin. The same way you told me to give out money, you have to provide. And if you don't, I know how to make money. Because I'd seen other ways of making money, which are not per se legal.
Yeah.
It's true. That's how a lot of guys make the choice. I'm like, I'm going this God way. You get?
If you don't really...
Like I have an option. If you don't come through for my wedding,
Yeah.
I know how to make money and I'll provide for myself. But if you do, I will for the rest of my life live like this. You get? And God came through for my wedding.
How?
Miracles. So miracles, you'll hear my story. Till today, miracles are a norm.
Yeah, tell me a miracle. Like okay,
so for example,
like how did you get the cash for the wedding?
I'm working at Fountain Media, and the day I quit, I get a phone call.
No, so that I understand.
Okay,
I'm talking in
wedding,
these 2 minutes.
I go and MC an event for Just Angie,
and
the guy who is providing the chairs says, I'll provide for your wedding for free. You get? Somebody comes and says, oh, I've been told to give you this. You get? Somebody abroad says, oh, but I'll buy for your wife whatever wedding dress she wants. You get? Oh, somebody's like, oh, I know somebody who has this venue. Pay for that.
Is your wife on board with your God plan?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
But she thinks I'm crazy at this time.
Okay.
But she's like, this craziness, but like I've seen it. Like, look, he ended up at Google.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing it, and this is how I've known this guy.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
So, but then what happens, the day I say I do, 7 days later, Kanji calls me to do a job, to work with him and start this new company. I get a phone call. And like, hi, are you Astar Njau? My name is Landry. I work for Google Nigeria. I've come to Google Kenya and I've been told that you are the person who knows about content. So I go and meet him and he says, okay, now I'm going to work with you. And puts a couple of millions of shillings into my account and has never called me again.
To this date?
Yes.
He has never called you again.
Landry, imagine if you're watching this, just get in the comments. Guys think I'm lying when I say this story.
Yeah.
And like literally puts a couple of millions of shillings, maybe 2.5.
And then?
And says, go and enable people to create content. So now I've got this thing. I'm working at Kijiji. Kijiji is paying me 70,000, which I'm not even touching. Just throwing it into a circle. And then at the same time, I forgot to mention this thing. When I worked at G Plus, remember now my eyes had been open to content.
Yes.
So in this building where you are, I came and I pitched an idea to a lady called Nazneen. No, I pitched an idea to the owners of Chase Bank. And they love that idea. And they're like, no problem, we'll finance you. And that finance was going to be worth 14 million shillings for me to do something called Kenya May Change, which was digital marketing. You get? So, but then I had left that job at AMP. And me had left.
Yeah.
So they are like, no, we didn't give this job to AMP. We gave this job to you. So
and AMP was...
Absolute Media Pictures.
Yes. Okay.
Because I was like, they weren't on board with my content creation madness.
Yes.
So, you get?
So they give... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at this time, I'm just throwing chums all over the place.
Okay.
Because I've gotten these chums from
the guy from Nigeria.
From Google YouTube. And I became something called a YouTube enabler. You get? I'm doing this thing with Kanji called at Storm Creative Agency. And then I go and pitch to ICA Lion, which is also down the road. And I pitch for them. They're like, my God, you seem to understand this content. Here's a gig for 10M. You get? But the production was going to be done by Kijiji because now at that moment I leave Kijiji. I'm like, okay, this digital thing, this is 2014.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. This was the turning point. This digital thing that has been, because there was nobody doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
No one. And when I say no one, I mean no one.
Yeah.
Was creating content specifically for the digital platform. Even as a YouTube enabler, it was just This Is Us and a lady called Kangai Mwiti. And two other guys. This career called YouTuber didn't exist. So in 2014, a very December 14th, I begin content creating for Caroline Mutoko. In 2015, I leave this and I go and form For-Up Digital.
Okay.
And this money that had come, I use it as the capital to buy the equipment, to pay for the rent of the institutions. And now we start a business. Myself, a guy called George Kagwe, a guy called Bupe.
Okay.
Bupe left quickly to get married, so me and George Kagwe ran this business.
Okay.
And now we started the industry called content marketing.
Okay.
Anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
At that time, we were behind them. From Caroline Mutoko, who we started in December 14th to 2014, all the way until 2019.
Okay. At this point in time, are you when you're pitching to Chase Bank for the 10 million and ICA for the 14, or if I've got it the other way around, whichever the case is, are you now aware of gross, net, and margins? Are you aware of those three different
I am,
things? Yes.
but now I've become a business owner.
Okay.
And the as an individual, of your salary, it's very easy.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah.
As a company,
Yeah.
with every level comes a new devil.
Yeah.
As a company which you just have a small room
Yeah.
where you've got you, George, and Bupe, it's okay. Then you get an employee. Then you get 2 employees. Then you get 7. Then you have to move venues to a bigger space. Then you get 19 and you have to move to a bigger space. Then your clients are growing from individuals. So people who have a side hustle who you're working for. And then this guy introduces you to his brother, and his brother is in corporate Kenya. So now there's all these different things that you're juggling.
Okay.
So it's okay when you have one client, margins, the way it looks. So now you have to realize cash flows. So you're learning. So now I'm in the heart of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Where NSSF, NHIF. So you're paying your NSSF, NHIF, but then you pay them on the 22nd and you get a fine.
Yeah.
But you didn't know. So now you hire accountants.
Yeah.
Then now your employees are being poached.
Yeah.
The magnitude of entrepreneurship is another level. It's why on CTA, I moved from just interviewing musicians to people of business.
Okay.
Because I was using the interview to learn from them.
Okay.
You get?
So from those first gigs, the ICA, Chase Bank, how much did you take home from those
Then
amounts?
I was taking good margins, 80%, 90%. I was an individual.
Yeah. So you do.
And then remember, Chase Bank went down after they paid. They didn't pay me the 14 million, which was sad.
Yes.
But they put in maybe
a deposit, and then
they put in quite a bit, maybe about 3M, 4M.
Yeah.
You get?
And then the chaos happened for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, the chaos happened.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
So, but then, remember, I'm not at that time, people used to shoot cameras with big things. Me, what I did is I bought GoPros and I shot it for digital. And they laughed. In fact, they were like, no, we don't like this version. And then I said, okay, no problem, pay again. So they paid again and I shot the pilot version that they wanted with the experience come. Then they're like, we hate this version. We like the version of the digital. So do that. Then they paid again. And they're like, now we're going to pay you for like 8 episodes for go like this.
Okay.
You get? But I paid a production company, and then now in that mix of things, they go down.
Okay. And so, and what then, okay, with the 86, let's even call it 60 to 80% margins that you're taking from this money, what are you doing with it?
I'm making stupid decisions.
Yeah.
So now you're used to hiring a car every day.
Yeah.
You've not bought a car. Granted, I didn't make stupid decisions. I made some very wise decisions also. Saved
some of it, yeah.
A huge chunk was where the baby, we had thought of baby on the way. You get? Didn't think baby was on the way. So put aside for that.
Yeah.
But invested in a lot into 4UP.
Okay.
So the money that's set up 4UP in the beginning was all essentially me who put in the capital.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when does it become crystal clear? Because you talked to me about this job you did for 30, and you got 30 million shillings.
Yes.
And then you realize actually I have 30 million shillings, but I'm almost at a loss.
Yeah.
Based on the project, on the work that you did.
Yeah. It's not even that time was a height of 4UP Digital. So we've got so many different 2019, 2018, the end of 2018. We did taxpayers education. So we did the full campaign across the country. And at this time we've got very many clients and a lot of employees. You get? So by the time you're getting, even if your revenue is 2, 3M, 4M per month, your expenses are very high. You get? So by the time you're getting a gig for 30M, you need, even if your margins are, if your profit on that is 20M, you get? From a 30M gig, you need capital to do the gig because these guys are going to pay you after 90 days. Yeah. So you don't have that capital. Yeah. IPO financing is not, you're not getting. Yeah. At that time, the banks have changed from Chase Bank to SBM, so it's new relationships, not that we can leverage on them. So now who are you approaching for the financing? Interest on that, what does it look like? Because you're going to Shylocks. Yeah. In the name of microfinances.
Yeah. but to give you enough cash to be able to do the job and then pay back. Yeah.
But then now, tax on that. Now you're being taxed before the company that is taxing you has paid you. Tell them just exchange the invoices entirely.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things happening. You're losing clients because of you're no longer spending time in these relationships. Granted, some of your employees are being poached. It was a difficult learning time, but I'm very grateful for those business lessons. You get what I mean? So by the time the money is being paid, we've already made the decision to shut down the company.
Okay.
You get, so it's coming to also offset.
To finish. So essentially, you get to a point where you're looking at the balance sheet of the company, so to speak, and you're like,
no,
this thing is not
the company could have gone wonderful.
Yeah.
The company, I just also got the point of okay, now even I want to go sort of in an essence alone.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Okay.
Because a lot of the people, this content marketing thing that I was doing for people, I was seeing the amount that I'm paying them for the gigs that I'm getting them.
Yeah.
So I call you to do KRA, and I can see how much I'm paying you as an individual.
Yeah.
The net on that is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm calling you to do, influencer marketing had become a thing.
Whose payment in specific, or what payment in specific?
I can't
not the name, but
Yeah.
what payment in specific? If you can tell us the details of the payment where you're like, you know what, nah. The one that made you seal the deal where you're like, yeah, I want to go at it alone.
Giving somebody 700,000 in 4 different gigs.
Yeah.
700,000 for this. There's somebody I paid 2.5 M as a influencer.
Yeah.
There's the 350 here, but then I'm also connecting you with this other person who's going to give you 250. Then this or whatever. I'm like, and the workload.
Yeah.
Like
it was.
But I know I'm like, the industry has woken up. Let me say the industry has caught up. Content marketing has caught up. It's now something you could pitch.
And within those 5 years, how much are you paying yourselves? How much are you guys paying yourselves? And how you guys
very little. We're paying ourselves what, 150 net? I mean, granted, there are other benefits that we could get. Medical is paid for, fuel is paid for, like other things are paid for. You get. But it was tough. We're babies. So from independence, now you're coming and you're managing people. So you're a conduit. But again, I'll say I'm very grateful. The lessons that I learned in that, and again, one of the things God told me is like, you don't go to university to stay there. Yeah. So 4UP was your 4 years of university,
so to speak, right? Yeah. Okay. Lowest financial point?
2019. 2019 was hard. What?
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't COVID. 2019 was hard. 2019, I did 2 gigs. That's it.
So how did you survive the whole of 2019?
It was hard. 2019 was a hard year.
Yeah.
2019 was hard. But 2019 was also very pivotal because I defined success. So, because I was just like, I can go back. I was getting a lot of job offers, a lot. But I was just like, I can go back, but I don't want to do this.
So this was after shutting down.
Yes, I did 2 gigs. I did Saw Africa to DJ's gig when he came to Kenya, and I did, and maybe it paid me like what, 5 sock, and I paid, and I did Roach Festival, the same thing, digital marketing. So maybe that's it. A couple of gigs here and there, this, that, the other. This,
so were you on your savings? Were you on your emergency? Whatever's like what's
partner, even your wife also has an income.
Yeah. Right.
But it was just a tough year because in my mind was the first time I was just like, am I going to work doing things? So I defined my success. Which I love, because for me it became, and it's what I live by now till today, which is, for me, success is obedience to God. So, and that is not a normal financial advice that I can give you. It's very difficult for people to live like that. But I've survived. I don't survive, I thrive. So me, let's just say that completely changed my life. So this company is now, I'd, for example, so I defined that the whole world goes into COVID. Yeah. But me, while everyone is going into COVID, me, I'm coming out from fasting with very clear instructions. So for example, go start doing CTA. This is how you're going to make money. Everybody's now running to me for digital marketing because they're terrified about COVID. Yeah. Including musicians. Musicians would pay me 40 Gs to live stream their event. Do you know what I do? Upload the video and premiere it. So literally, you're sending me a video. And like, everybody, Arrow Boy, like name it. Nyashinsky. So it started with Nyashinsky.
Yeah.
So the day Nyashinsky went live, I was on the back end. So guys were like, who did this Nyashinsky thing? So everybody who after that started doing events would literally send me the thing. Me, I just set as a premiere, on Facebook. And I had an app which I was paying $2 so I could also live stream on Instagram through OBS. Guys were like, how is this guy doing this?
Yeah.
So making quite some good shooms, got a few corporate gigs, including Safaricom.
Yeah.
I became Safaricom base.
Yeah, yeah.
Which was $250 a day I sit down.
Yeah.
I got a job. I was head of marketing. No, I was head of content at Boxcraft. Boxcraft are the ones who are Kenyans.co.ke.
Yeah.
Same, $250 net.
Yeah.
Going with. So, but then now, the God era. The God era is like, if it says move, you move.
Yeah, and I specifically want to ask, and maybe it may be difficult.
It's not difficult.
Answer, but in this, because someone saying, like, give me tangible, what does difficult mean tangibly? That 2019 year, what does it mean to be, to have two main gigs in a year financially? Does it mean you have to change your lifestyle? Does it mean, even in this obedience to God, does it mean you're moving houses?
For me, difficult is never the money.
Yeah.
The money, yes, it is. So first of all, I keep saying, in my difficulty, just because of how I've been raised, I'll still do a Java.
Yeah.
Like there's my difficulty is never lacking food. Never. The level of difficulty is the obedience of what I'm being asked to do. You get what I mean? That's what's difficult. Like you're asking me to not jobo. Like that doesn't make sense. Like or not do this kind of. Or you ask me to leave this job. You get like where I worked the whole of 2022, amazing real estate. So the difficulty is how can you ask me to leave this job? It doesn't make sense for me, but I'll obey you because my version of success at the end of my life, what I measure success with is obedience. When my receipts, I'm going to like when let's say I'll go now, my receipts are, was I obedient? I want my rewards. I want my rewards, whatever they have been. So the difficulty for me, yes, there's financial difficulty sometimes, but even in the financial difficulty, I always have fuel. I always have food. I always have, even in my difficulty of that, I still went to Coastal. You get what I mean? But the difficulty, the thing which I find difficult is purpose, action, doing things. You get, why am I not able to do these things? In my difficulty, the height of COVID, I still went down to Zambia and did a full live recording with my camera guys of different guys. So difficulty, again, I know this is financially correct, but like, I don't know how to not explain like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I think from a
I know guys who difficulty,
almost,
who difficulty is, I don't have food today.
Yeah.
You get, I know.
Or you have to move houses, or you have to change your expenditure.
That happened. That one for houses happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one for houses happened.
Yeah.
That was a hard one. That was actually the one time I can say I've tasted it. The one for houses was like, okay, I didn't think money could do this.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah. Yeah.
But coming from homelessness, you get. My kids are still in school.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah.
I've seen guys who had to remove their kids from school.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah.
Let me say this. For me, provision is not just money. So if I want to buy this bottle of water, let's say this is filled with water. Can I please have some water? Let's say this is filled with water.
Yeah.
To you, the only way you can get this water is you need 100 shillings to buy this.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, there's 90 ways in which I can get this.
Yeah.
I can get it from you. Somebody can gift it to me. But what I want is the water. I don't want the money to get the water. A majority of people want the money.
Yeah.
You get? They want the money.
You want the thing that the money will give you.
I want the thing. You get? For example, right now I want to tour the whole of this country educating content creators. I need money for that. And I put a budget to what I need. I need maybe to do that, maybe about 5 to 8 million shillings. You get, with what I have in mind. Do I need the money, or do I need the things that's going to enable me to do it in the level in which I want to do it? You get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So money for you is a tool, but more so for you, it's the thing. If you're able to get the thing, then the way that thing is brought.
And
to
some
you,
of the people who have been with, who have mentored me, who have shown me that thing. A guy goes and plans for something, a project which is 240 million shillings.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have it. I'm like, why are you planning then for it? is like, because the vision, the provision always comes for the vision.
Yeah.
But you first have to have it.
Yeah.
But if you sit down and all you're saying is, oh, I don't have the money, I can't do this, it won't come.
Yeah.
It's the law of attraction in an essence.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also don't lock it to just finances.
Okay.
Though, and I'm not trying to negate Chums.
Yeah.
Chums is very powerful.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. So in fact, I wanted to ask, so I mean, as we're wrapping up, so do you feel like that attitude makes you less, I don't know whether it's less aggressive or less about the way you chase money in and of itself and the way you pursue money in and of itself?
I need a lot of money.
Yeah.
My vision is so huge.
Yeah.
Like, I need so much money. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in no essence am I not chasing chums per se. I am chasing the thing.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I am right now. There's a couple of grants.
Yeah.
I'm in the essence of getting, and I'm going to get those grants. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want them at all costs because of what it is that I want to do.
Yeah.
You get. I need to pay guys, and also I want to empower my team.
Yeah.
And I want to treat them extremely well from a financial perspective. I mean, Jesus fed guys first. He didn't tell them, let me pray for you.
Yeah.
Like, give me bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then,
literally,
we move from there.
give me some bread. You get?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
to impact people's lives, I've realized I need to be extremely wealthy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am chasing, but I'm also trying to make some now I know.
Yeah.
Remember, I've interviewed a lot of financial people.
Yeah.
So I know about passive income. I know about portfolios. I know about MMFs. In this whole mix, I jumped into Bitcoin, crypto. I entered. I've entered so many different. I've entered investments, land, long-term, fixed. I've put bills. I've experimented with very many different things. But I've realized I am my best bet.
Okay. So even with all of these different investments, you're saying you're realizing that you are from where you sit, you are the best thing to invest in order to multiply your
you
cash.
guys called me here as Richie through CTA.
Yeah.
But also it's time for that.
Yeah.
So even CTA on its own, it's a financial. So the way I do podcast is very different from a lot of people.
Okay.
You get.
Final question. If you look at CTA, I mean, you've done it for how many years now? When I was coming across it, that was 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
So what, 8
Yep.
years now?
Oh,
There,
shucks,
about,
is that
right?
crap?
It's not a short time.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Lift your hand and big up yourself. I'd like to thank me. No.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
If you're to look purely, remove other valuable elements from CTA. If you're to look at it purely from a P&L financial standpoint, has it been worth the investment, and is it profitable?
Now it's very profitable.
Yeah.
Now it is.
Yeah.
Has it been worth the investment? So I always double bottom line.
Yeah.
Double bottom line is impact first, and then now revenue.
Yeah.
So, for context, City has 5 revenue streams. You get YouTube views. My revenue has way surpassed 1 million shillings.
Yeah.
Way. If you talk about...
Is that on a monthly? Or is that
not
on a
monthly? But it will get there on a monthly. CTA's revenue will get to over $100,000 a month.
Okay.
Not now.
Yeah.
And hopefully even as time goes, but
Yeah.
it will get there.
Yeah.
It's just the consistency has to keep.
Actually, a question for you. Running with running CTA. This is sort of off, so don't lose track of what you're saying.
Yeah.
These the YouTubers, right? The YouTubers who say and say that they're making 1 million, 2 million shillings a month purely on YouTube views.
Kenya or abroad?
Kenyans.
They're lying. I know your back end. I've seen. You're lying, and you know it. From YouTube revenue.
From YouTube
You're lying. Yeah, but they are. I'm not saying they're not there.
Yeah.
They are there. Are there very many people doing... Remember, there's CPMs.
Yeah.
So the way YouTube works is very different. A lot of this content, a lot of people are only being locally watched.
Yeah.
So when you look at the analytics, you can tell.
Yeah.
Your revenue streams are not that high.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 million, 2 million, you're lying. You're hoaxing. Stop lying. You know yourselves. You're lying.
Okay.
Show some receipts.
We can move to your where we left your chain of thought. Yes. So the 5 revenue
But have
streams.
they made that much? Definitely.
No, I
Very
mean, yes,
many.
over time, yes. Yes, but I'm talking about monthly, regular income that's hitting $1 million
But
a
there
month.
are people in Ethiopia with faceless channels
Yeah.
making 10 million shillings a month.
Yeah.
So when I'm telling you this thing goes, it just depends on the kind of content you do.
Yeah.
So may I box mine into timeless content because of its historical journeys.
Yeah.
The content doesn't get old.
Yeah.
People will still want, Eric Wainaina now has gotten a research because of what's happening.
Yeah.
Boniface Mwangi has gotten a research.
Yeah.
But YouTube views is one, sitting on the seat is another.
Yeah.
You get, I've had you mention FXPesa.
Yeah.
I haven't yet gotten corporate sponsorship because I'm picky about my partnerships.
Yeah.
Maybe I did one with Sarova.
Yeah.
It wasn't a payment exchange, but it was venue exchange.
Yeah.
Which is in essence what I was saying. You don't need money. I
It's
get a
about
venue
being
to
able
shoot
to-
and food for my guests.
Yeah.
At an exchange for something and a holiday as also.
Yeah. Okay.
Do the right things, Sarova. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, donations was huge.
Mm-hmm. Yes. How did the donations work actually?
So it's called digital value economy.
Yeah.
So donations during COVID was amazing. So one digital value economy ask. I was not shy to say, by the way, guys, I show this content for you. Ask. The moment it's like the church thing.
Yes.
Ask.
Yes.
But without the manipulation. Just ask.
Yeah.
Ask and be like, hey, if this content has blessed you,
yeah.
give me. If somebody gives you 20 bob,
Yeah.
appreciate them as much as if somebody gives you 300,000.
Yeah.
You get. And it varied. You'll be shocked how many when 10,000 people send you 20 bob
Yeah.
each, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then you've got, and you put the infrastructure. So you put,
How
put
stable
PayPal.
did that? Yeah. How stable is
Till
that
today,
as a
revenue
revenue
comes.
stream? How much does it, like if you're talking about average?
No.
right?
Of course, it's gone down
Yeah.
right now. But then it's something. At 20 bob, me, I keep saying, any money that I'm not stressing for, that is coming in,
Yeah.
you get,
Yeah.
will offset a bill. If a 10K comes, that's a elect bill gone.
Yeah.
You get that I didn't have to work for.
Yeah.
So just because it is not, it's just have the options and have the options with a global mindset. So for example, if you check CTA, you'll see PayPal is there.
Yeah.
You'll see MukPay, which means credit card or debit card for global. You'll see a till number.
Yeah. Which is,
And you'll see Sendwave. Me, I'm just like, hey, what's, and it's not a mention that I do in the video, but it's pinned in the comments.
yeah.
Because now the vibe is changing. You get?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the seat, I'll say on the CTA seat, it's what will it definitely trigger to the most as the market is catching up. Because now I get a lot of phone calls.
Okay.
I'd like to
By
come
the
to your
seat, you
platform.
mean
To sit on
people who are
CTA.
paying to
Yes.
participate? Okay.
Yes. And I'm picky because I just not going to take you because you're throwing. During elections,
Yeah.
people came to throw a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm talking the 6-7 figures.
Yeah.
But I didn't shoot a single politician then.
Yeah.
Because I didn't trust, for me, the trustability. The first politician that I have shot is Martha Karua.
Yeah.
And no, that wasn't a paid seat. But a few other people have paid to sit on the seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And
Sounds
it's,
sour.
and it's $10,000 to sit on the seat.
$10,000 to sit on the seat.
Since you're asking numbers.
Okay.
And guys hear
is-
that, they're like, women are jichocha.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Those who will see the value, whatever.
Will pay.
Yeah. I'd rather somebody saying, I don't have that, let's talk.
Okay.
But someone's like,
Forget
I'm
it.
like, no, I'm like, you're not
What
looking
about
to me.
donation? I want to know donations. Then give me an average for donation. I
It
mean, if
varies.
you're to ballpark, okay, even if you're to ballpark it and give the range of the height of COVID vis-a-vis now.
The height of COVID, maybe in a good month, you get 300K, 304 on a good one.
Yeah.
Because remember, I remember even there's one person who sent $3,000.
Yeah.
You get. Then
Yeah,
they realize
yeah.
they made a mistake. And just as I want to press withdraw. But I would have sent it back.
Yeah,
But guys, I've sent 80K.
Yeah.
One human being, one guy said one sock. Some
Yeah.
guy every single month, without a doubt,
Yeah.
just used to send 6,000 shillings every single month.
Yeah.
Every single month. Every
Yeah.
single month. You do a series. This one is so hot. It varies. So on the low, it would be 60, 70K.
Okay.
On the high, 350, thing like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we've heard about what you're doing in your mind right now. I mean, the different things you're experimenting in. We've heard about your
So my
vision.
core right now,
Yeah.
let me just add this, is to build passive.
Yeah.
So Now I'm constantly broke.
Yeah.
Constant. Because I'm just like
Yeah.
passive.
Yeah.
My kids will never not have an income.
Yeah.
And even them, I'll cap it. I'm not going to just spoil them.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I am building the passive base
Yeah.
that I'm going to pass on for generations.
Yeah.
So, passive income is for me gold. I have other different assets, and I'm not negating them.
Yeah.
But I'm just realizing cash is king.
Okay.
So every moment of time, I'm trying to throw cash to build a passive base income.
Last question, do you miss the life you could have lived with a silver spoon that you'd been given, so to speak? If you had gone down that path, my assumption is that, everything would have been set up and you'd have been able to essentially live a very good life, relatively, quote unquote, relatively easily. I mean, you still would have had to work and all those things, but a lot of things were set up.
What I've come to realize is, you know the way guys say, a lot of guys are chasing shrooms.
Yeah.
Chase peace. There's a lot of people I know, personally, who have a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
But are in a very dark place. And because I'm fortunate enough to have seen it, you get what I mean? And to still see it, I have accessibility to a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people with a lot of wealth.
Yeah.
What I have is extreme peace. There's nothing that I can't answer, that you can ask me that I can't talk about, because there's nothing that's holding me back. So for me, this Jesus thing, it's not a hoax. I'd be dead. If God didn't interfere into my life at the time that he did in 2014, in 2004, sorry, I would not have made it to 2007. I'd not have made it.
The trajectory was...
I was headed down fast. So I truly understand when you hear about Robin Williams' depression, and he's a comedian and a multimillionaire. There's a level that I understand. Like, I've enjoyed being here. Yeah. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to have a part 2 in one way or another to talk about the things we've not been able to talk about. But thank you so much for coming. I think there's a lot of understanding, a lot of honesty that you've given us, and I'm pretty sure guys will appreciate it, and we'll probably learn a thing or two. I think for me, just that redefinition of success, that was really interesting for me. That was really interesting for me. But yes, as usual, you guys, please put your comments. Tell us who you want to see next. Like and subscribe. And we will see you guys on the next episode.
Cheers.